Greetings everyone, George Trovato here, winemaker, Cinnabar Winery here.
And Frank Gates, tasting room manager at Cinnabar.
Frank and I are trying our 2011 Grenache. It's from the Cinnabar Vineyard in Paso Robles. It's a very delicate wine, very Pinot-esque. So Frank, let's give it a taste and let's see how it is.
Getting a lot of that classic nose from Grenache with some little dried flowers, a little spice.
Yeah, I get, the cranberries, the cherries, the red fruits. I'm getting a lot of that. I'm getting some nice sweet oak. Maybe a little bit of pipe tobacco.
Definitely get that little tobacco edge.
A little bit of, maybe a little cigar in the aroma.
Wow, big, bright, intense.
I mean, this mouthfeel is delicious because it has, sort of a repeat in the mouth with the red cherry fruit, some
tart pomegranate.
Yeah, some tart. I was just going to say that, some pomegranate, but it's supple. The tannins are just really seamless. They're integrated. It's got some nice bright acidity to kind of keep everything lifted up in the mouth with a long finish.
Picking up just a little touch of toasted oak on the finish, and maybe even a little of that little minerality, a little earthy, leathery kind of character.
Definitely, I get it. I get some leather. I think leather is a great one in the finish. Maybe a little soy, almost a little finish. This Grenache to me has sort of a Pinot quality to it, and that is, it's a delicate wine. It's got that sweetness of the fruit. It has the delicacy in the mouth and the palate. It's not hard with tannins. It's got a real graceful quality to it.
Now, I understand we're using a little different clone these days with Grenache, George. Is that to set us apart from what used to be over farmed in the Central Valley?
Yeah, I think, like Pinot Noir, there's a lot of new clones of Grenache coming in. And the primary clone that we're using is a clone called Grenache Noir. And the way I would characterize that clone is the berries are a little smaller and the clusters are also a little smaller than your typical Grenache clone that you would see from the Central Valley. I mean, those clones can yield, 10, 15 tons to the acre, and the wines would be fairly insipid, light, But the new clones, Grenache Noir, especially the way we farm these clones these days, produce a much more elegant style wine with color, with depth. But when we grow Grenache, we have to be very careful not to overexpose the cluster to sunlight. You can get a bleaching effect where the color is lost. So in fact,
done through canopy management?
Yeah, we come through and we don't pull too many leaves on the sun side of the canopy. We leave those leaves. What we want is dappled sunlight to penetrate the canopy, to aid in the development of the skin, to reduce disease pressure, but not so much where the skins lose color. And Grenache is a variety that can lose color rapidly if overexposed to sunlight. So I think that's key, is knowing how to grow Grenache and keeping the yields down. We try to keep them around 3 tons to the acre. That way that translates into wines with good color, good mouthfeel, and good aromas.
Well, I'll tell you, this is definitely one of the prettier Grenaches I've had in a long time. I know the European varietals can tend to be a little intense and earthy, and some of the things I've tasted in the past from California were a little lighter, so this is really nice medium body.
It is a nice medium body wine, it is. The vineyard source from this is from the Cinnabar Vineyard. It's on the east side of Paso. It's a vineyard, it's about 15 years old. It's planted on its own roots, which sort of adds some complexity, I think, to itself. But being 15 years old, I think the vines have sort of come into this balance. Also, the yield was quite low in this vineyard. I think we only got about 2 tons this year. So a nice wine. We didn't make very much. We aged only about 11 months in French oak, about 30% new. So my goal is to keep it fresh, keep the wine lively, don't dry it out too long in barrels. So 11 months we bottle it, try to capture the essence of it. And I think we only made about 150 cases, so
it's drinking beautifully right
come
now.
and get it before it's gone.
Cheers, George.
Cheers, Frank.
Well done.